So welcome back to another special episode of PC419. Today we have a very sort of different thing we're doing on the actual channel itself. One of our PC419 community members have reached out to me and asked me to build their PC. He hasn't done it for about 8 years, so it's a bit of a massive upgrade to currently what he's got now, which is obviously running the 2700K. He's actually sitting right there, but that's all right. 2700K, is that correct? Yeah. So a bit of an old machine. He's still running his 580s and SLIs. So jumping onto the RTX bandwagon. So he's running a 2080 RTX, which is absolutely fantastic. Also too, we've got the Z390 Gaming X. We've got two 4TB drives. We've got some Cooler Master fans. The 9700K Intel CPU, which is 8 core, 8 threads, which is 3.6 base clock, 4.9 boost clock. Also, we have the Master Air MA610P air cooler. He has brought in, which I was unaware of at the time, the Thermaltake Versa N27. I'm not a fan of this case. As soon as he brought it in, I said, we're not going to be using this. But my suggestion was using the Cooler Master 5T, which I think is a lot better compared to what you're going to be using prior to that. So this is brand new, out of the box. I'm going to be doing a slot review on this as well. So I'll be doing more of an overview on the case. And let's get this thing rolling. Hopefully it should be an absolutely fantastic beast of a PC once it's finished. We've also got the Corsair RM850i for the power supply. So, and we'll be using the Thermaltake Grizzly for his CPU cooling. So hopefully that should work as well. So what we'll do is we'll get all these out of the boxes, see what it's like. We'll get the M.2 installed as well because it's running a 970 EVO Plus, 1 terabyte. Corsair Vengeance 16 gig kits. Yep. So we'll get all these out of the boxes, start building this, and hopefully having that massive upgrade from 8 years ago to 2019, and having some awesome gaming, and also plenty of storage. We're running 8 terabytes of storage here, so I don't know what the hell he's going to put on there, but 8 terabytes of storage is plenty these days. Get all these going on here and hopefully get this machine built up for him. All right, so let's get this on the go. I'm gonna put the case down for now. And what we'll do is we'll start separating the parts all together, getting everything ready. So the hard drives are going at the end. Power supply will go in a bit later as well once we get the case open. Same with the video card, which we'll be doing a small unboxing on that. So let's concentrate on the motherboard and the RAM. So we'll get that prepared first before we start anything. So he's chosen the Z390 Gaming X from Gigabyte, which is not a bad board, to be honest. They're the noise you get out of these plastic. There we go. So it's not too bad. So it looks like you got 1 times PCI 16 and 1 8. You've got 3 1.0s as well. You got USB 3. You got, how many fan headers you got here? I got 1 for the CPU. So 1, 2, 3. Also there's 3 fan headers. Also you got your case power in. You've got 6 SATA ports here as well. 24 pin, and it's got some pretty good headroom for overclocking as well. So you got your 4 pin and your 8 pin for your power. All right, so move away from that. Let's get some of the accessories over here, if there is any from Gigabyte. Good old Gigabyte just give you 2 SATA cables. Lucky for that, because we've only got 2 hard drives here. Then you've got your CD, please, God's sakes, go to USB for drivers. Look, if you're still running an optical drive, fair enough, but Windows 10 does install base drivers when you install Windows 10, but particularly go to Gigabyte's website and download the drivers directly from Gigabyte, the latest drivers, I should say. So, all right, so now that we've got the motherboard out, next we'll go for the RAM, and I don't have my handy knife. Where'd it go? Let's use this for now. Actually, I do have my knife now. All right. Got that out. I might as well slice you up. Get the M.2 out as well. and CPU. That's done too. All right, so prepare the CPU. Put it in its case, ready to go. Just back in the box. And let's get the RAM out. So we've got 2 DIMMs here. Corsair. You got 3 DDR4 running at 3200 megahertz. Obviously you need to enable that in XMP profile as well in the BIOS to reach those speeds. And then we've got the M.2, which is the 1 terabyte NVMe 970 Evo Plus. We'll get that installed as well. SATA cables, we'll need it for later on. Let's get some handy dandy screwdrivers out here. All right, so I've been building PCs for a while now. I'm not going to say this is a tutorial video. For God's sakes, it's not. So just take everything with a grain of salt. Don't think everything's always correct. When everything's been done, you guys might do it different to what I do it. Obviously, people are going to be saying on YouTube and for the comments, oh, why isn't he wearing a static wristband? I've never worn a static wristband, to be honest, and nor have I had any issues wearing a static wristband. What the hell that noise is. So obviously installing a CPU very easily. You've got to find the arrow on the motherboard here and the arrow on the actual CPU as well. Place it nicely, fit it on there. You leave the plastic cap on as well. What happens is when you've locked it in, it will pop off very easily. Okay, next then we'll start off with the M.2. Let's get that installed, get that out of the way. It has got a heatsink on it, so most likely there is a thermal pad underneath here. If there is, don't forget, if you just install a thermal pad, to hit the heatsink over it, pull the plastic off. So obviously it gives that M.2 a lot more cooling, and also too, it needs to be removed regardless of it. So this is the Cooler Master 5T. It's actually not a bad case, to be honest. So I've had a look at a few of the other Cooler Master cases I've seen so far, and it's very well built in the sense where this one in particular has got dual. Some people don't like it because obviously they want to hide their cable management. They don't really like the having cable management being shown from the back. Some people do, depending how good your cable management is. But Cooler Master have done a very good job on this particular case to actually, not so hide it, but pull these here on. If they don't fall. So yeah, this is the 5T, as you can see here. All right, so you got your motherboard tray here, big opening for your cooler. So I can actually probably put the cooler on, to be honest. It has got on, it looks like an LED or an RGB strip here at the front. You got your front panel connectors here. Now it's got a graphics card support. It's actually got 2, so you can actually just take them off, and if your graphics card has a bit of hang on it, we can use this to actually bring this up and bring the graphics card straight, which is pretty cool. At the back, if you're running RGB fans, which in this case we're not running static red, you've got a LED controller here as well. Looks like, is it a fan controller too? No, I think it is too. Yes, it is. So you get your fan controller and you got your LED controller back here as well. So it does come with a lot of features. Obviously top handle, it has 2 fans at the front, which we might keep in there, and 1 fan at the back. And we might install maybe another fan on top if we can. Obviously at the front here as well, it has got the PC shroud here as well. So it's got a bit of a cover here, holding safe for your PSU, hard drive base here, which we'll be installing as 2 4 terabyte drives. At the front here, you've got 4 USB ports here. I'm guessing 2 is going to be USB 3.0, maybe the other 2 might be 2.0. Got to have a look at the front headers, your power button, you've got your reset, your microphone in, headphone, and you've got, actually it will have power and reset here as well. And the hard drive indicator at the back, at the front. And at the back, pretty simple. Also you got your I/O panel here as well. graphics card support or your PCI ports here, rear exhaust fan, and then obviously the PSU installation here. All right, so we've prepped the motherboard. Motherboard's all prepped up. We've got the air cooler on there. M.2's installed. We've got the RAM installed as well. We've put the fan headers on for the CPU, and also I've ended up using one of the system fan headers for the motherboard to assist for the rear fan, which will be controlled by the board itself. We can go into the BIOS or using Gigabyte software to control the fan speeds of this rear fan if you want to make it more quicker, or just have it standard, or through the BIOS itself. The RGB header will be controlled by the actual case itself, so this will be controlled by there, or we can use, there is an RGB switch, which is this one here, which I can, if I really want to, I can just put it somewhere in the case, and Kokoda, which is obviously the person that owns this system build, can control it either with one switch or through the case itself. Okay, so far what we've done is I've installed the motherboard. We've got the cooler on here as well, which we installed prior to that. So now what we'll do is we'll do power cable management with the PSU. So we'll install that. We'll install the EPS connector. It has got a 4 and a 8 pin connector, which we might just install the 8 for now, and we'll go from there. So obviously I'm going to leave this on there because we'll see if we've got any GPU sag. So if there's any GPU sag on there, you can use this riser here to actually level that out. Get the power supply in, which is modular, so we can do that at the end, which is fantastic. We'll get the hard drives in as well, so 2 4 terabyte hard drives, and keep going from there. All right, so now it's time to install the RM850. So I'm going to do a bit of a quick unboxing on it. It's been a while since I've done a PSU unboxing. It is the 850 watts from Corsair. It is modular as well. Standard power supply cable. You've got a massive book. Don't know why, but anyway. You'll see a bit of foam here. Corsair, for years and years and years, I've got to hand it to them. They've actually, with their packaging, they've done absolutely fantastic work in regard to their cable management. Obviously with their cables as well. Obviously this being fully modular, they are braided cables. Obviously you haven't got so much braid here on the 24 pin, but through the center part, they're all braided. The SATA cables don't have braids, but the rest do, looks like. Yes, they do. And also with this power supply being the RM series, it is the I series, I should say. You can hook up Corsair Link, so you can actually see what the power supply is currently doing as well. You'll need to download that software from Corsair directly. It doesn't come with the power supply, obviously. Now getting the power supply out, comes in this nice fabric bag, as usual. And you can see here, a bit of a warning here on there. Here's the power supply here. So it's got a nice big fan at the front here, big open area here. Gives you the option to actually flip the fan over. Obviously the best thing is actually having it exhausting out, so don't have the fan facing inside the case, have the fan facing down, exhausting out, which is the best thing for this. So you're not putting heat back into the case. So what we'll do now, let's get the case back up here. We'll run the cables through, and then we'll install the power supply right at the end, so we'll get this cable management done correctly, and then I'll leave enough room for the power supply to slide into the Master Case 5T to give us enough room to run the cables through, and then we'll install the power supply right at the end. So obviously when you're building a new PC, your workbench, luckily for the studio bench, is actually pretty big. So it gives me a lot of space to work around, especially on a build like this, when it's this tight. But now what we're up to is the video card. So Kokoda here, Josh, has chosen the Gigabyte RTX 2080. Do a bit of a quick unboxing on this one. Obviously we have done reviews on the 2080 Ti's as well. So if you want to look at those videos, I'll get those links in the description below. And look at this beauty here. All right, so you've got 3 fans on here. You've got multiple display, HDMI and USB Type-C. So this USB Type-C is primarily for VR. So instead of having a HDMI cable into here, one USB Type-C cable straight for your VR headset. It is NVLink ready as well. So if Kokoda wants to actually SLI his 2080s, he can, most likely. So you got your PCI slot here as well. It is PCI 16 ready, as you can see here. And we'll see how this baby works well with his new rig that we're building for him. Get this down here. I've got like multiple boxes in the studio at the moment. So we'll get the PC back up here again. So a bit of another update. We've installed a few more of the cables so far. I've ran 2 separate rails for the video card. I personally like having 2 rails, 2 separate power rails running into the video card. It's always a personal choice. You can obviously don't have to if you don't want to run 2 rails. You can run the single rail, but for cleaner power supply to the video card, this is the thing I've had for so many years now. I'd prefer just to have 2 separate power rails going into it. All right, so we've got the PC built up. It was actually not a bad build, to be honest. I'm pretty sure Joshua will be very happy with the build itself. We've still got to install Windows on there. We've also got to put the covers back on again. I left the covers off so I can actually show you guys the back panel as well to see, because it is tempered glass. So there is some room for cable management. Luckily the glass is actually really dark tempered. So if you're a bit messy with your cable management, you've got some room to move in it, but preferably try and tighten the cables a bit more and make them as neat as possible. I had to do a few modifications with the GP support because Josh did want it on it, or Kokoda did want the actual support on there. So I had to reverse the bar to get that on there. The only thing I've recommended to him, which we'll probably be bringing back for a second part of the video as well, is a fan upgrade kit. So we're going to install some more RGB fans. Not so much to have actually RGB in there, but a bit more color in there as well. But also too, we're going to get some high static fans on there, so high pressure fans on there going through the case itself. I will show you guys the back, which I'm just going to turn this off, so you guys can see the back part of the cable management. This is probably the best we can do it so far, because the amount of cables we have to actually run in here to actually get this thing trying to close. Does close pretty good as well, so I've got to say there. Try to run my cables as far down as possible, but like I said, it is what it is for this case. You really can't do much more about it. There was no covers on here, unfortunately, to actually try and hide your cables, but so far I'm pretty sure I did a really good job so far to it. So yeah, I'm sure Josh is pretty happy with that. So he's going to get Windows installed on this. He's going to just do a few benchmarks on it. Hopefully it runs really well. The 9700K running on the Cooler Master air cooler with the RTX 2080. Let me say that again. The RTX 2080 graphics card on there from Gigabyte. I'm pretty sure he'll be very, very happy with this build. All right, guys, this is the end of the video. I'd like to thank Kokoda for actually giving me all the parts, for letting me build this case for him. He'll keep you updated on our Discord as well to see how it's going. Put a few photos on there once it's all up and running for him. If you guys have any more questions, let us know in the comments below. We'll put all our social medias in the description, in the comments in the description below as well. So all our social medias will be on there as well. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want to build your PC, I don't build PCs for everyone. Kokoda actually lives in Victoria, in Australia as well. Good friend of mine, and this is probably one of my love jobs I love doing for him as well. So thank you once again. Actually, come up here, Josh, if everyone can see who you are. Let me know if you're happy with the build. He's been here the whole time. He's been very, very patient. So a few issues we had. I didn't even realise, to be honest, the cooler was actually upside down. So I had to actually change the cooler in place, which was a bit of a headache, but got through it. Hope you're happy with it, Josh. Any issues, let us know. But if there's any problems with hardware, go back to your retailer for that. Don't want to know about it. But apart from that, all good to go, mate. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Guys, we'll see you in the next one.